So, this is a Rolleiflex, and why do I think this is probably one of the worst cameras I own in my collection? Okay, so that's probably not technically correct, but if anyone watched one of my latest videos, you'll know that I had a bit of a setback this past week. I went to a steampunk event, and when I got back I was excited to develop some film, and the weather was a bit hot, so when I got the film out and scanned, it was a bit scratched. So this really kind of like set me back and put me off from taking a film camera to the last event I went to. But today I thought I'd venture out into the woods and shoot some more film so I can develop it, and also it gave me an excuse to take this out and test it again, because me and this camera, even though it's technically a beautiful camera, we just kind of like have this really weird relationship where I don't know if it's me or if it's the camera or a bit of both really. But yeah, I thought I would come out into this beautiful location today and take a few snapshots. I'm shooting on some expired Ilford FP4 film. It expired in 1994, so yeah, hopefully the images should come out. Again, when I get back I'll develop that film and we'll see how the exposures come out. With it being 1994, I've been told that you should overexpose the film by one stop every decade, so for the 125 ISO film I think I'll rate it at 25 and see where we go from there. I've got some other films, so I can shoot again at another point if I mess this one up. But yeah, let's go and shoot some film. So I was fortunate enough to come across a Rolleiflex for sale, which was a really good price, so I picked it up. This is the Rolleiflex 3.5F, which has got the 75mm Carl Zeiss planar lens on it. It's also metered, so it's supposed to be a really nice camera. The looks and the build quality are fantastic. I cannot fault it. Just looking at this thing is a beauty to behold. It came in this leather case, which obviously helps protect it and looks really nice. Being German, there is a few things which are a bit extra. So to take the lens shade off, you lift this bottom one up, rotate it, and it exposes the lens. This is what's called a TLR, which is a twinned lens. So when you look through the ground glass, you're looking through this lens here, and this is the taking lens. So in a previous video I talked about the Mamiya C3 that I had. Unfortunately I don't have that anymore, so I can't do a side-by-side comparison with the Rolleiflex anymore, but I had a few technical issues with that one. With inside there was a flap that folded up so you could actually take the lenses off if you had film in, so it didn't expose the film. And yeah, when I was shooting it, the shade came up and it exposed half the film. So this, again, a bit of a learning curve. Inside, when you load the film, there is actually a roller that you put the film into. I'll show you me loading the film today, so you'll be able to see the roller. But when I first was loading this film, I didn't know that, so I loaded it as you think you would do it normally, starting to advance the film, and it didn't stop, and the frame counter didn't work. So I thought it was a bit strange, so I carried on and found I actually wound the film all the way through the camera. Bit of a YouTube later found out that you are supposed to put the film under the roller. So when I actually developed the film, which was at the NEC show last year, I had blank frame, blank frame, blank frame. So today I put it under the roller, and so hopefully the frame counter worked, so hopefully I will have 6x6 actually shoots 12 pictures, so we'll see what we get. A couple of things which are a little strange to me, and that is you focus by turning these dials here, but they are so easily turnable, they're not notched, so you do find that you end up changing your exposure without you noticing, which again, if you're in the same location, can be a bit of a pain in the arse. But if you're constantly changing locations and you're remetering the light, I guess it's not a major issue. But this has caught me out on a few occasions. Just something obviously to look out for. So, having spent a little time with this camera now, it is a little strange to use. For me, the TLR experience, I'm probably not used to it, so it takes a little bit getting used to. Everything that you look through on the finder is back to front, so when you're actually trying to compose an image, you're too busy trying to know which way to go and tilt the camera, which I find strange and a little frustrating at times. For me as well, the ground glass is quite difficult to find focus. I noticed that when I get my film back and scan it in, images are slightly soft, so I don't know again whether that's just me having an issue with the focusing system on this camera, or whether the shots that I've taken so far, because they've been in a bit lower light, I might have moved, so the shutters might have been a bit too slow. Again, the only way to find that out is to shoot it more. but I have some more frames on the counter, so we'll carry on shooting. So, I'm back from my walk, and I've managed to develop the film. That's just drying at the moment. I'll get it scanned and I'll add it in this video. I started off this video saying that the Rolleiflex is probably one of my worst cameras. That was a bit of a general sweeping statement, but I just want to say that the TLR experience for me hasn't been the best, and probably, I don't know, when you find a camera that doesn't seem to fit with your style, and I think that is the TLR for me. I'm not saying that the Rolleiflex is a bad camera, it's absolutely a beautiful camera, very clear, the lens is amazing, but for me, just the experience of shooting with it is something that I find a little bit strange, to be honest. So while this is a beautiful camera, I'm not sure what to do. I'm not sure whether it will stay a shelf queen and it might come out every now and again, or I'm not sure if I'll trade it in and get something different. I have been speaking to a guy who's got a 4x5 camera, and that's something that I want to try, so whether I do a deal or not is yet to be seen. I mentioned a few of the points in the video. The looking through the ground glass, find it really difficult to focus for me. Again, everything being back to front is a little awkward. One thing I did find really strange though is the focusing. I tried to focus on some architecture and some plants, and even though the lens does come out, you can't actually get that close with it, so I wouldn't actually say it's great for macro photography. I know you can get some close-up filters, but the Mamiya C3 with the bellows actually allowed you to focus a lot closer, so for price and performance I would probably recommend someone looking to get into the TLR to look at the Mamiya. Purely because of you can change the lenses and the close focusing. Again, I'm not saying that the Rolleiflex is a bad camera, I just don't think it is something that fits in my style. The focus right, and some of the images you'll see are slightly out of focus. Again, that just might be down to my style and just me with the camera. So I think at the moment the Pentax 6.7 still rules. I've yet to try the Hasselblad, but as regards to the Rolleiflex, have a look at the images and see what you think. But for me, would I recommend this camera? Yes, it's actually a fantastic camera, and it's a great way into medium format, especially the price of some of the cameras these days. You know, looking at the new GFX 50, which is £8,000, and then you add the lens on, it's an expensive camera. So getting into film is definitely a great way. Yeah, not for me.